Hello, Comrade Chris, can you hear me? I need for you to unmute your mic so that we can get your audio feed.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, very well. I can hear you. Good morning, Comrade Chris.
I said good morning and thank you for having me here.
Now, beautiful. I'm sure you have followed the conversation. INEC invited both camps in the PDP, the Makinde-led camp and the Wike-led camp for reconciliation. I want to have your broad reaction to this meeting that has been called by INEC before I ask you further questions. What's your reaction?
Well, I'm surprised that Emmanuel says he doesn't know why INEC intervened. He doesn't know that Professor Amupita loves the PDP so well that he doesn't want the PDP to disintegrate. He loves the PDP so well that he wants them to be a formidable opposition to the APC. You see, my brother, we love to supply you, the media, talking points so that we can keep ourselves as politicians engaged. Perhaps that gives a semblance of participation, or a semblance of pragmatism, or a semblance of popularity. It's funny what's going on. The agenda of both sides are very clear. Wike is doing his job and is doing it perfectly well. What I would want to know is what is Makinde's job? Is it that Makinde is trying to get together the dredge of PDP so that he can use it post 2027, maybe in 2031 or something? Or does he seriously think and believe that he's going to win this battle? Wike's job was to destroy the PDP. That's the job Wike is doing. Why is everybody? Why are they pretending? And the way the matter is so intractable that Wike will win in this matter. The suspenders and the suspended are all intricately woven together. And as the prof said when he intervened, or I would rather call it interfered, when he interfered, he made this clear to them, he gave them a hint. You have so many conflicting letters with INEC, which tells you that even though one happens to succeed to produce what they call candidates, it will still face post-election situations and post-election.
Comrade Chris, that's exactly my question. Shouldn't INEC be the one? I'm surprised that the INEC chairman is also saying, look, we have so many conflicting documents, correspondences from you. Shouldn't INEC be the one to say, look, this is the authentic faction of the PDP. This is the authentic leadership.
So that should, that should give you a clear clue to Professor Amupita's intervention or interference, as I put it. He's going there to create an alibi. He's going there to pretend that they carried out their constitutional duty of being, partly part of their mandate to supervise the political party.
I'm sorry, Comrade Chris. Let me button at this moment. You know that the INEC chairman is a professor of law, and you might well understand that, look, the courts have no place, in deciding the authentic leadership of the party, and that is why he has stepped in. Because as a matter of fact, the Supreme Court...
The court might not have a place in naming who is the leadership, but the court, whether the processes were followed or the processes according to the constitution of the PDP were followed, that's the court's place always. The court would decide based on the processes that were followed to arrive at whoever you call leader. If the processes were followed according to the constitution, the court will recognize that. And
talking about processes, it's curious that INEC, is doing this kind of job that Nigerians don't understand. A certain convention was called in Ibadan by Makinde and his group, and INEC did not observe that convention, which more like invalidated that convention, and the executive, the National Working Committee, that got elected in that convention. Now, fast forward to Ekiti State, where they held a Goba primaries. The Goba primaries was conducted by the Makinde-led camp that produced Tamilu Turaki as the new PDP chairman. Now, that is the camp that conducted the primaries. And INEC turned around to accept the candidate from that camp. So what is INEC telling us? Isn't that a statement that that is the authentic faction of the PDP?
The professor wouldn't have heard the kind of meeting he had with them. The truth of the matter is that there are so many booby traps set by Wike's camp that whatever you see is just what they call the more you look, the less you see. The truth is, as he rightly admitted in that meeting, there are so many conflicting letters that they will have to wait for the appeal court. And the appeal court is to decide whether the process. It was a court order that said INEC should not witness the Ibadan, convention. And that court order was relying on some of these so-called plenty letters that is with INEC, these conflicting judgments and letters that are with INEC. The truth is, Wike is doing his job. The job of Wike is to create so much confusion that it is even impossible for INEC to say what is PDP and which is PDP. Right now, the national secretary of the party, the organizing secretary of the party are in Wike's camp. And those people are statutorily elected according to Supreme Court judgment. So how do we begin to reconcile this at the day? Is the appeal court going to say that the secretary that the Supreme Court had said his election followed due process and the rightful national secretary of the party be sacked down by an appeal court? So these are the issues. There's so much confusion there. The only wise thing I would have advised Makinde to do, if not for ambition, is for Makinde to take his own section of the PDP, his own group of the PDP, and go and pitch camp with the ADC and pitch camp with the coalition. We should not toy with 2027 and divide the ranks that should come together to unseat this terrible government that is ruling us. This kind of gerrymandering that they are doing in PDP, they will only end up not having a candidate. And then they will have served neither the opposition and indeed serve the ruling party that will say we all want to get out. It doesn't make any political sense for anybody to be fighting in his own house when there's an enemy outside ravaging the entire household. So I don't think politically we have sat down, we have analyzed this. What's PDP's intention? Rather, what's Makinde's intention? Because Makinde cannot claim to be more PDP than Wike. That's why the activities of Wike and those with Wike, that's why the activities of those people, surreptitiously. The truth of the matter is that by legal processes and by processes of party constitution, it is not possible for Makinde to have expelled the people who said he has expelled. There's too much history, and those histories will all come up in court. And you continue to have this merry-go-round until the election comes, rather than being pragmatic and take a decision the way Atiku Abubakar and the others have taken, leave Wike's house for Wike, and then move on to ADC and unite with the coalition, and then forge a common front for Nigerian people to have an opposition to support against this incumbency that is a fiery serpent biting everybody in their backyards.
All right, then.